All right, so something else. Today is Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. Very important for me, for all of us, as we continue to watch our funds, the taxpayers' good monies in times of crisis, where this money going, how it gonna make it, etc., etc. How are we going to fund these things? All of this is parts of the conversation of our government's expenses. We must realize as a people that we are the country's revenue. The government's revenue is the people. We, the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, pay the taxes. We are the streams of revenue through customs, through any sort of fees inclusive of VAT. We are the ones. Property tax, your license, everything. If they up the fees, that's a tax to you, right? One of the things that we have learned is that your purchasing power has decreased over time. The value of your dollar, its power or ability to spend, has decreased. Where our parents were able to, with the boom of tourism, to rake up easily with minimal education necessary, say $1,000 a week on tips, and that's just tips. Their ability to spend and to do more with it was powerful then. Now there's inflation. Now the cost index, our purchasing power, what is it? What's the index I'm thinking? Consumer price index. We are unable to buy as much as we're used to buying, right? These things are important to note and to be made, you have to be aware of. Obviously, you feel it. You feel the tightening of your wallet, and then we're made to adjust. Every new tax is the box closing on us, and you feel like you're suffocating. Your stress level goes up. You become more anxious. You become more annoyed. You're working harder, putting in more time. Your mind doesn't rest when you sleep because it's always trying to figure out how to feed the children tomorrow, how to pay the light bill tomorrow. Oh my God, the water bill needs to be paid. The school fees are over. The school fees have to be paid. If you have a mortgage, that mortgage is due. If you pay rent, the rent is due. Someone is always demanding the money out of your wallet, your pocket. The challenge we have is that because we don't have sufficient residual income, passive income in your to say it sits there after you've paid off your expenses, you're finding that you're always stressed out and you can't save. So we need to break from the stress and are condemned when we do a vacation loan. Now, vacation loans are not wise. They're preying on your need to leave, right? They're not wise because it's a loan that you might need to just stay home for 3 or 4 years. But then there's a point when you just need to get out and de-stress. And so when you've hit a breaking point, you have to find a way to not be stressed out. Stress can break people. Stress can cause you to have a heart attack prematurely, send your pressure up, cause you get a divorce. Financial, there's 2 reasons divorces happen. It's either sex or finances. 2 main ones that cause a major strife in your family. Finances is a big challenge. After Dorian, post-Dorian, families are finding themselves in financial predicaments that they cannot see their way clear. Men who were strapping men who worked, took care of their families, are finding themselves standing on lines at head knolls out the gate, finding themselves patrolling Nemo, waiting for assistance, looking to the government for answers, not on how you're going to give me food, but how can you help me get back on my feet? What is the contingency plan for financial restoration, if not freedom? And so we have this challenge here where we are in another cost frame. Because those who do not find themselves with employment are now a part of the ever increasing list of unemployed. Those unemployed become an ever increasing burden on society because we have to make sure that there's unemployment pay and checks. Resources are low. The government is losing ground money, and therefore there must be new strategies to find funding. Hence, they're borrowing more. $300 million here, some $100 million there, Watch all of the loans that we are going to have to take out because we were supposedly prepared but not. Now, Nahaja, why you say all of this? I say all of this because we need to be aware that you cannot control the circumstances around you. You are not in control of the planet. You're not in control of your supposedly secure job. Your business, if you are self-employed, if you are an employee, listen, having a trade in hard times is probably the best thing to have. Because, pardon me, when your business gets blown away, what are you going to do? One of the things that my husband and I, we've always thought about was, how do you get out of the rat race? How do you position yourself to be on the other side of the cash flow quadrant, right? If you've ever read Rich Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's book, Cash Flow Quadrant, he's also the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's certain books that we consider our financial Bibles, right? You have to find yourself on the other side of the cash flow quadrant. So there's the four things on the quadrant. On the left side is employee or self-employed. There's no such thing as a secure job. Let that go. You could be on a job for 20 years. They'll let you go in 21. You had plans for retirement at 30. That's just how life is. The company is always looking at their bottom line, and when costs run higher or come too close to profits, they will always look to keep profits and not necessarily keep you. It is business. It is business. It's not evil. It's business. And then you have the right side of the quadrant. You have the business owner, not the self-employed person, the business owner and the investor. The goal is to move from the left side to the right side. How do you take your IQ or your idea and figure out how to get it to become a business where you can take a vacation for 6 days, or for 6 months or whatever, and it be able to run on itself? Then you have business structure, so company structures, etc., etc. But getting on that side, we make it seem as if it's hard, but it takes planning. And sometimes we think that we've reached a certain age and you can't plan for it. One of the things that if you're Bahamian, what you notice right away is everybody seems to come here and speculate on land. They come here, people can quiet our land, right? I thought it was a powerful thing. I was watching the news last night, and the Haitian gentleman was saying in Adequacy, was staying in a house that barely had a roof. He said, I don't know what to do. I can't go and build in the mud anymore. So I don't have any money. I can't. And I thought it was a powerful thing that for him, his process was, I could build a home without buying land. That's a concept that has never been a part of my. I've never had a concept where I could build a home somewhere and don't pay for land. That's a powerful advantage, A powerful advantage is you can build a structure without having an initial cost of land ownership. You know how much you could save if you had land? So there's important things that where land is important. Real estate derives from royal estate, right? That, kingdoms are created or based, their strength of it is based on the land that they possess, their domain. That's why kings were considered great the more they conquered. If we don't own a piece of the land that we live in, where foreigners deem it so valuable, then we are already behind in our own country. I will always say that the repeal of the Removable Properties Act was the biggest mistake and led to the vast inflation that we have today, the land speculation that we have today. We have a company called Hutchison Whampoa that right now was the owners of a hotel that once it hit, they decided they weren't going to rebuild or reopen that hotel. We bought the hotel at overpriced cost and couldn't buy any of the extras within it. We got to pay for the plates. We got to pay for the tissue. We pay for everything else. We make bad deals. But now that same company that has access to the greatest piece of real estate in terms of port building, vast amount of resources, where our prime minister flew to China to have this discussion in regards to how can Hutchison Whampoa help us then. That was the Prime Minister Ingram. We now find that the airport in Grand Bahama is possibly going to need to be purchased because Hutchison Whampoa was seemingly, based on the comments of the Minister of Tourism, is not interested in or is not moving with haste to restore it. Why do they need to restore it when these were promises that they made just to get the deal? But now that they've got the deal, now that we've made bad heads of agreements, now that there's proven to be no recourse for us as the citizenry, when you've gotten what you want, you let go of what you don't. We make bad deals, but yet Hutchinson Mampoa also in that deal got over 70,000 acres of Grand Bahamian land. For what? What are we speculating? Did they develop it? But how much does one Bahamian have? Legal tender Bahamians. How powerful would it be if we could have land? And so I love the idea of real estate investment. I love the idea of the power one gets from having real estate. And it's not just real estate, the royalty of an estate, the fact that we have a housing crisis that we are not paying attention to, we're not labeling, is a concern to me. And it should be a concern to you. None of us should be extended renters unless it is something where you see feasibility. When you're looking at your return, somehow the math works out. In other countries where the cost of living is so high, that might work out. We have to be people who are able to own in this country, where others who can get low interest rates when they borrow from away are able to do the same. So I have a special guest. I'm looking forward to having him join me in the next segment. This gentleman obviously is known by his name. By his name alone, he's branded his name. The power of his company, though, is very respectful. It is definitely one where you have great respect for him. And he's in Better Homes and Gardens. Look at that. He's a real superstar. I can't wait. And you know his name. He is known in the region, and I'm sure in the world now, because he's in Better Homes and Gardens. None other than Mr. Mario Carey himself. And I wanted this gentleman to come, and I'm so happy that he said yes, because I think you get experts in the field, people who are respected, who are at the top of their game. Let's talk about how do we get into real estate investing. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you're listening to the hit back. Mr. Mario Carey from Mario Carey Real Estate will be in studio with us. I want you to get your pencils and pens because I have so many questions for him. And I'm coming from the purview that we are not millionaires. We ain't 100,000aires. We ain't probably thousandaires. We just need a strategy on how to own a piece of this pie. Y'all, we cannot wait for government to set us free. There is no savior that's coming for you. You got to save yourself. We have got to save ourselves. So I'm looking for one man in a red coat or a yellow coat or a green coat to bring us into our own chalet. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. Mario Carey on the other side of the break. We'll be back right after this.
Dream of someday owning our own home. Let Fidelity take you one step closer to home ownership with $5,000 toward your lot loan closing costs. With the price of land on the rise, now is the perfect time to purchase your lot. Fidelity Bank is here to get you started with fast and local approval, built-in saving plan with 5% interest, credit card with guaranteed lowest rate, quick turnaround, no runaround. Get started today by calling 356-7764.
Boy, you know what going down tomorrow?
No, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you on?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Penn. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I name Coles enough.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and these boys coming for me next.
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I boy?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and you can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
There's never been a better time to get a brand new Chevrolet because we've got a wide range of models for you. From the economical Spark to the sporty Equinox or the ever-popular Tahoe or Trax SUVs. Need a truck? Then the Colorado or Silverado pickups are guaranteed to give you years of service. Find new roads with Chevrolet at Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street. Call them at 302-0130, where standards are higher.
When life gets crazy busy, who has time to cook? KFC buckets are the perfect solution for families on the go. Cooked fresh daily, in-store, KFC chicken is crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Bring home a family bucket of original, spicy or barbecue chicken with fries and buttery biscuits, all for only $20, including VAT. Let KFC cook tonight. Buckets of love at KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
Hi, my name is Marisa Mason-Smith, a member of the Zonta Club of New Providence and a member of the School Planning Committee. Under the theme Protect Our Children, Preserve Our Future, Bahamas Against Crime, in partnership with Sanctuary, presents a free workshop on the abuse, exploitation, and trafficking of children on Thursday, November 7th at Holy Trinity Activities Center, beginning at 9 a.m. An ecumenical service will launch a week of activities on Sunday, November 3rd at St. John's Baptist Church at 3 p.m. Register today at 325-4357, 328-8984, or email us at bahamasagainstcrime@gmail.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's 4:42, and it's time for your traffic report here on the Hit Back. So guess what? If you're heading onto anywhere near Village Road, it's traffic. I don't know why we're surprised by this. Just stay off of Village Road now. Just stay off until 7 p.m. That's
safe.
That's normally my time.
That's safe. Find something to do. Go to the gym. Have a cup of coffee.
Just don't go that road.
Stop by the beach. Yeah.
That's always a good one. And then, of course, Fox Hill, if you're heading east, the reason why I was talking about east, and I look at the report for the east, y'all, is because I always have to pick up my kids from the Grammy. So I like to look at the east. Fox Hill, Yep, definitely a lot of traffic right now, but this is to be anticipated. If you're anywhere near Independence Highway, Robinson Road, slight congestion, nothing too massive. As per usual, just a little bit of congestion, nothing out of the ordinary, but maybe something has happened near our BAF and major roundabout by AF Adderley. So just might be, it seems to be some sort of stoppage right in the middle there. So be mindful of that. Try to avoid that stretch of the Independence Highway heading to AF Adderley, Town Center Mall area. Otherwise, it should be regular gas guzzling traffic. It's almost 5 o'clock.
Almost 5 o'clock.
You're listening to the Hit Back. That's your traffic report here, 4:44. You're on the road. Why are you not at work? Did you leave work early? We're beginning the Hit Back with Mario Carey. And we're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Mario Carey. Real estate tycoon. That's what we'll call you. Real estate tycoon, Mario Carey. One of the leading real estate firms here in the country. And now, of course, look at him. It's all in the Better Homes and Gardens magazine, October 2019 edition. This is so exciting. First of all, Mr. Carey, welcome to the Hit Back.
Well, thanks for having me, Nahaja. Nahaja?
Yeah, you did good for your first try.
Yeah. I tried it downstairs, and they had me rehearse it, but I still got it mixed up. So. Nahaja.
Yeah, there you go. Just use it. It's just one special 3 syllables. You just
you gotta
lift it up.
Lift it up. Yeah, lift it up.
There's a comedian say, "Put your chest into it."
There you go.
It's a pleasure to have you, an honor and a privilege to have you in studio.
Yes, well, nice. Again, thanks for having me here. Man. And I see you looking at the magazine.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, so that magazine, I always like to sort of plug it. Mm-hmm. It started to print in 1929, and currently, the amazing things about the magazine is they print 40 million a month, and each ad is $500,000.
Wow!
So if you look at just open the page, and what are they marketing, advertising?
Chevy. Cars.
Two pages. That's $1 million.
Full spread, yes.
That's Starbucks. $500,000. Right. And that's the readership that they have.
Yeah. And Better Homes is a huge circulation.
Huge circulation. Their
here.
cookbook, the red hardcover cookbook, prints twice every second year, and it's the second most read book compared to the Bible.
Are you serious?
Their cookbook.
Their cookbook is the second most.
It's just the brand. Their brand is lifestyle.
That's crazy to me.
It's relevant. 365 days.
That's amazing.
People go and they build their family around the magazine, around the brand.
Yeah, I would have not. Now I'm stuttering. I did not think that a cookbook or the brand, like you said, would be so vast. Second to the Bible. That's powerful stuff.
Second to the Bible, and now, 40 million a month, right?
40 million a month.
40 million.
This is good stuff, and you guys are in it.
And we're in it, and just think of the competition for print.
Yes.
With tablets and.
Yes.
Online stuff. So.
And the fact that you are in one of the most highly circulated.
Yeah, magazines. And again, I am the first international franchise for the brand out of the world. So that's,
really, that's congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at us, Bahamians. Bahamians always pioneering, right?
Yeah.
In the world, you're the first.
First international franchisee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, people, when they hear the name Mario Carey Real Estate, we already know that this is a top tier global firm in terms of its reach, how people look, how we search, etc. So there is weight to it. What I'm excited about with this is because if you can talk to people who have such knowledge in a particular area, I begin to believe that I'm in a master class, right?
Right.
Because now I know that we're going to tap into one of the top minds in a particular area, and most of my questions, if not all, should be answered.
I will do my best. So.
Are you ready?
I am ready. 35 years in the business, I think I might be able to handle it. Yeah.
I think one of the misconceptions or what folks might think coming into this with you and I having this discussion is that Mario Carey real estate is only elite listings. You're only multi-million dollar elite listings, and that you cannot possibly help or care about the everyday Bahamian that is struggling to get a $250,000 mortgage.
I mean, that person that lives in Yellow Elder.
Yes, or Elizabeth Estates. Yeah.
Elizabeth Estates, Carpan Road, Marshall Road.
Yeah.
Where would you want to go? There's no place in Nassau that I have not worked, been to, understand. I have been everywhere. Now, I have a huge team. I have a 20-person team that can handle anything from that $60,000 lot up to the multi-million-dollar property. And I've done that deliberately. So my strategy is we have a diversified team that handles all different types of property, and I also have a diversified team of culture. So I have people that speak Mandarin, French, Spanish.
Well, that's a great strategy.
German. So there's no, you just try to open up, right, and be available.
Right.
So, but don't be misconceived. We're here to service and to help.
With that said, if you're just tuning in, Mario Carey here on the Head Back Real Estate Tycoon, Bahamian Real Estate Tycoon. He just told me now he grew up on Wolf Road.
Wolf Road, Long Island, he blew through blood. Yeah,
Listen.
Grew up on Wolf Road. Used to walk to Bahamas Academy. Pastor Roach was my headmaster. Loved him, and that's where I grew up.
How did you get in the real estate business?
I was first really introduced to it by my dad. My father was a salesperson in the car industry. He was a trailblazer. He was one of the leading recognized for Ford, but he also had a passion for real estate. So he left a very comfortable job with Ford and opened up his own business. So as a kid, I was here helping him nail signs on trees and going up in the bush and helping him show properties, and so I used to help him answer the phone, help him set his appointments, and I just got a taste of it. I got a taste of knowing that I was not suited to sit in a bank. Nothing wrong with that, but it was just not for me. Not a coat and tie kind of guy. I want to set my own hours, and most of all, you learn early. I made my first sale when I was around 17, and I was able to buy a car from the commission. Any percentage of a big number is a good payday.
It's a good payday.
Any percentage. I've learned that. And sales, if you're good at it, you can do really well.
Yeah. With the business of real estate, right? One of the things that I'm noticing now, and I believe this strongly, Mr. Carey, is that if you don't, real estate is power. Having it is an investment.
Wealth. Power.
Exactly.
Yeah. Security.
Opportunity.
And
it leads from one thing to the next if we know how to use it and leverage it. Right?
100% correct.
Excellent. I'm glad I know I'm on the right page. Right? One of the things that my husband and I, when we were thinking of buying property, we thought about it as an investment opportunity. Right? So we're 26, 27, and we're planning, how do we, what are we looking for?
Right.
So we looked at our business and said, well, the goal of any business is to get daily cash flow. That was our thinking. How do we get daily cash flow? Always know where money coming from at the end of the day, and how do you manage that, and how do you get property? So
very good. Two heads working together in the right direction. Right.
So we chose property out west and multifamily. So we said, okay, if you build something out west, you can get a higher rate of return, you hope.
On the rent. Right. Very, very true. Correct.
So if you build wisely, you don't overspend so that your cost is higher than your rate of return. So we thought about all of these things.
Right.
And now, I would say, because we got it when we were both 20, he was 28, I was 29, so almost 10 years later.
You're giving your age up now. Yeah. That's okay. Almost.
And I start with him first.
Make sure he's the older one, right? But good decisions right away. Out west, duplex property.
Yeah, triplex.
Smart triplex. Smart thinking. Right off the top.
So that we've started to see this return.
Yeah.
Right, where we're able to, say, okay, one pays for the mortgage.
You get to live in one. We sold one.
Yeah. So this was a strategy for us.
Right.
And we learned some things along the way.
And you did it by yourself, or were you advised by a real estate?
We did it by ourselves.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's because we were reading a long time ago.
Yeah, so you did some homework.
Yeah, we did a lot of homework.
But that is the value of working with a professional real estate agent.
Yeah.
They can help you with that sort of understanding, where should we buy based on what we can afford. And if it's out west, what kind of rent we can get.
Right.
Should we do multifamily? Where can we find that versus just a single family?
Right.
So you're on the right track.
And we've seen that opportunity. Now, here's where I know most of my people are.
Right.
When we had the government trying to give out mortgages, $60,000, $30,000 lots, home needs to be finished in 2 years.
Right.
Many people couldn't qualify.
Couldn't qualify.
Why would I just buy land?
Why? Owning land is important, but remember, if it's just land, then you got to have the debt service to go with that, and you're not any return on it.
Right.
But if you buy land that is in a growth area, so you're speculating that I'm going to buy this lot, knowing, like if it's out west, knowing that a new corridor is coming, or a new food store is coming, or a new development. So there's some speculation there. A lot of people will buy land and build out of their pocket. Right, take it to the bell course, and then maybe go to the bank and they get financing to finish it, and achieve that dream of having a home. If you buy the land and if you get it at a good price and you hold it, most people must realize that in the Bahamas we're not an environment where you can speculate on real estate because the costs are so high.
Exactly.
So your holding period has to be 3 to 5 years, maybe.
Yeah. And what percentage return would you normally expect from a 3 to 5 year hold?
Well, you would hope that you're gonna
in a good
environment, you're gonna be able to cover your closing costs. So if you bought it, you've got to cover your stamp tax, legal fees, and then the cost of inflation. So those fees. So if you can make 5%, 6% a year, maybe averaging.
Really.
But 3 to 5 years.
Holding it.
But you're making that payment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let's just say you've done well. You've picked the right lot. And it's maybe a waterfront lot in Coral Harbor or whatever it is. It's a duplex lot, and now better roads are coming in. Maybe there's a school going by. And if you have that lot and the value is appreciated by $30,000, just hypothetically, now you have equity. So you can take that equity, you can borrow against it. Banks love to lend money where there's equity.
Exactly.
So now you've leveraged an investment that you can take
and
that
that's
and
property.
go. Yeah, you can go and use it to invest or to finance or to buy a home or buy a condo. And that's smart. That's smart use of real estate.
Yeah.
And it's always good to get advice, to get an advice from a real estate person or a broker or even an accountant, right?
Even an accountant.
Yeah.
To help you determine what are your profits in this once you're going through.
And why would you borrow the money? What is the use of the money? Don't borrow it to go shopping or.
No, you gotta think about creating more assets.
Yeah, more opportunity, more income. You want to know, how can I borrow this money to make me a return?
Yeah, one of the areas where I see an opportunity is with all of this supposed development happening downtown.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also too about the incentives of the over the hill initiative.
Right.
And so I think, okay, tax-free zone.
Yeah.
Growth happening on this side of Bay Street. That's probably going to come backwards towards all the way. Probably can affect
smart.
all the way down to Meadow Street.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking there's opportunity in this area between Nassau Street, probably beyond that, because now they're talking about real estate or activity happening from Arawaki, if that actually happens.
You mean going west to Arawaki, right? And then doing all the antiquities with the forts, right? All the way around, right? And then,
So I'm thinking areas like within that fort, so Chesapeake, was that Chesapeake? Was it Chippingham?
Chippingham is behind the Humane Society. And then you've got Papal Track that wraps around to BTC.
Yep.
And, if you come downtown, if you go sort of over the hills, south of Great Cliff and Government House, and I mean, it's smart to pay attention to it. And I use the word smart because I like the direction your questions or your knowledge is, but there's always risk.
Always.
There's nothing.
Because everything is a promise until it's done.
And so
that's speculation,
and that's
right?
speculation.
Yeah.
So always remember there's risk, and what is your risk tolerance? Sometimes it's better to lay off that risk by partnering with somebody. I mean, my first real estate deals I did for the most part, I always brought in 2, 3, 4 partners.
Really?
So we laid off the risk. We understood, and some things we made profits on right away. Some things we had to hold longer, and some things we didn't make money. But it's a way to get into the game, right?
Don't put all of that risk on yourself.
No.
If you're speculating to some degree.
Yeah, we all have friends, family,
who want to get into
colleagues.
this.
Yeah.
Did you do a fund, or how did you manage that risk? What type of company, or
no, just
what
individually.
structure? Really?
Well, yeah. Most of my investments it's not a fund. Just to answer that. I like the idea of funds, and I'll come back to that. But I would see an opportunity to buy, let's say, a nice tract of land that somebody needed to sell, and I would go out and I would get the financing organized, maybe private. I always like to borrow private. The banks, sometimes the banks are very lender friendly currently, but a couple years ago interest rates were high. It's
Currently,
difficult
we're
to borrow.
lender friendly.
A little bit better. A little bit better.
That's breaking news.
I knew I was going to get a reaction out of you, but I'm glad you're listening. It shows you're listening. I know. I try to really sell the fact that the banks are trying.
Breaking news here.
I know.
Oh
But,
my God.
the interest rates, I'm 61 years old, so the interest rates back 10 years ago were nowhere as attractive as they are now. The climate to borrow affordable money in the Bahamas, if you qualify, is very attractive.
Yeah.
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 But, so I would say, okay, here's a lot. And I think that the lot value is going to go up. Let's hold it for 3 years, 4 years. 3 of us go in. We put the down payment. We got a loan, a private mortgage, and we just pay interest only, Bahamian loan. And then I'll structure the Bahamian loan that it'll balloon out in 5 years, so that if in 5 years, if we don't sell, then we got to go and refinance.
Really?
But typically, we'll resell, and you'll make your profit.
Why interest only? Keeps the payment lower?
Yeah, it keeps the payment lower because you're betting on the fact that the value is going to go up.
Interesting.
Right? And that's just structuring, and that's so
smart.
you have to access private money at an attractive rate. So if you do private money,
Well,
you
you
might
get
not need an appraisal. You don't need.
Well, my last name isn't Carey. Who's going to give me private money?
I
Would you? Did we come to
I will
Mario
find
Carey?
it for you. By the way, I have a mortgage broker on my team as well.
Really?
I have people that speak language.
that's
I have
awesome.
a mortgage broker that has over 20-some years in the banking industry, just for that reason. So if you came to me and said, hey, Mario, I need to find a mortgage, I'm going to give you the right person that's going to be able to get it done for you. And if you can't get it done, it's got to be a big reason why it wouldn't work.
You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, Mario Carey, real estate tycoon, in studio with us. Listen, we're going to learn a lot today. This ain't about no gossip or anything. The goal of this show today is to give us new ideas, new ways of thinking about getting and obtaining that piece of land, changing your wealth strategy. Maybe you have a home and you need to know how to maximize the value of your home, or using it as a leverage to get you something else that can take you out of having to work that 9 to 5 or this unsecured job to become an investor. This is a powerful time, y'all. We don't have to wait to be saved. You can save yourself. We just need to think like wealthy people think. They haven't taught these things in school.
They have not.
So we've got to find out how to free ourselves. You're listening to The Hit Back. When we come back, Mario Carey, real estate tycoon, in studio. We'll be back after this.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
listening to the Hit Back. Here's your special weather report for today. Listen, severe weather warning update by the Met Office. This weather warning is from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. So I'm sitting inside and I missed it. I don't know. Is it still going on? I don't know. Y'all tell me.
It's blowing out there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's blowing.
So it's in effect for Grand Bahama and its adjacent waters, 2:55 p.m. Observation radar and satellite imagery continue to depict line of convection and clouds. Boaters and residents in the warning area should remain vigilant due to the hazardous nature of this event. And you have here, just for the record, and it actually continues with the same. So boaters and forecasters, this is a major, just severe weather warning for us all. Just be mindful of it whilst you're driving. I'm feeling pretty good about my day. I thought it was beautiful when I came in, buddy. I don't know. This Met Office, though, did Basil write it? I'm just kidding. Love you, Basil.
There's no Junkanoo yet, right? Sorry.
Hit back weather. We're back here right now with Mario Carey. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja. And we're back. You're listening to the Hit Back. Mario Carey. Mario Carey will listen. Why did we do the weather? We did the weather then? I just realized it's only 5:09. We were supposed to do the weather at 5:30.
Yeah, having too much fun.
I'm having too much fun, man.
But the time change has got everybody messed up.
Yeah, I'm jacked up. I actually was early somewhere.
Yeah. You wake up early and
it's messed up now.
The day, everybody's saying it's people getting up, having breakfast. I see them and they're like, "What's happening?" He goes, "I just can't sleep. I gotta get up."
I know.
Yeah.
My kids are having breakfast at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, sweetie, but we're up. Everyone's up, so eat, damn it.
Well, again, I'll just share. I am a big proponent of getting up at 5.
Nope.
My day starts.
Nope, I don't agree with that.
Yep.
I don't support that.
Hey.
I believe.
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. So if you get up and work between 5 and 7 every day, you pick up 20 days a year of productive work time.
What time do you end work?
I can easily end 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
So you just add 2 more hours to
in the
work?
morning when you're rested
and alert
and not distracted.
Right, and it's very quiet. Nothing's going on.
And everybody else is sleeping.
Microsoft just did they gave the results of their 4-hour work week challenge in Japan. Did you see that article?
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Well, they went ahead and for the month of August.
Right.
There's an issue in Japan where they are overworked. People are dying early.
Commit suicide.
Yeah, it's
stress.
very stressed,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So they're giving about 80-hour work weeks. It's too much for them. It's affecting family life. Spouses are dying earlier than normal. And, Japan is already having a challenge with an aging workforce because of that one child thing they did a long time ago and its effect. Mm-hmm. Long story short, so Microsoft does this wonderful 4-hour week, 4-day week challenge.
4-day week.
Mm-hmm. And they saw for the month of August. So the month of August, they gave Fridays off. So it was 5 Fridays in August that they gave off.
And they're still working a 9 to 5?
They're still working a 9 to 5.
Right.
8 hour. But Fridays were off. And full-time employees, apparently there's a difference in Japan. There's a major difference in income between part-timers and full-timers and benefits. A major difference. But the full-timers got their time off plus pay, and the part-timers got the time off with a slight increment or the day back. Some
formula that they've sort of thought through.
However, the results were amazing. 40% increase in productivity. They had a 23% reduction in electricity costs, of course, with the company a whole day off, right?
Oh, you mean from the company's
viewpoint, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So 23% reduction in electrical costs.
Right.
They had a 40% increase in production. They had a 53% reduction in printing, where they actually measured that. And so overall, they sent letters, emails, and they would tell the staff, stop working after 5, take a break, don't do anything else, we will see you on Monday. So on Thursday at 5 o'clock, we will see you on Monday. And that actually has helped. They showed that they can actually be more efficient if they gave folks more time. I said that long story to say this. Why are you spending all of this time? What what you doing?
What am I doing? But
What-
I stretch it out. I mean, I'm up at 5. By 7, I'm on my way to the pool or to work out.
Yeah.
I get an hour in. You meditate, and then you start. But you know, people respect it. If you want to get phone calls in where people aren't distracted,
That's good.
you can set them up early, right? So, but yeah, the Asian culture is always been under that sort of magnifying high level stress. You know, I think the Bahamas, you know, it's that's a difficult one to compare.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me. The joke with my husband is, you give us an extra day off, we'll just get an extra day off.
You get an extra day
I don't
off,
think
yeah.
you'll change much in productivity. This is a different culture.
Yeah, it is
because
a
their
different culture.
discipline is something that is trained early. And their desire to maximize return, the pressure of excellence. Yeah. We don't have that pressure.
Pressure of excellence.
We don't
And
have that
respect.
pressure.
Respect for the heritage.
Man, listen, we have our ministers defending the BGCSE results. So I'm thinking we're not going to get an extra day off. Yeah.
D minus, is it?
D. Yeah. But so we're told that we shouldn't look at this because that is not the only metric. But we digress.
We need to challenge that. Anybody
should
challenge the school system.
We need to challenge a lot.
A lot. But the school system, I think, the way the world is moving digitally and social media, and I'm working with guys in the space that they are buyers for Amazon. Okay, so they're strategic buyers. They showed me their platforms, their programs online, and how they buy, and they make almost $100,000 a month buying for Amazon.
Are you serious?
Serious.
What are they? They're using, of course, different types of software to
find the sales.
Yeah.
And so most
buyers,
of the stuff that Amazon sells doesn't come from China. It comes from these buyers. I was amazed when I found that out. Right. So, say Amazon has a pair of sneakers for sale for $60, Nike. So they'll go to an outlet store, wherever it is, strategically, and it could be anywhere in the United States, and buy it for $20 or $25 on sale, and then they'll sell it to Amazon, and they'll make a $10 spread, and then Amazon sells it for $60. There are guys that are making a lot of money doing this. Now, why can't we teach Bahamians
Why can't we? I feel as if there's a world of the global economy.
E-commerce
that
right.
we
Huge.
we don't know anything about.
Don't.
We approach the web as consumers. That's what we approach it as.
Good, well said.
Yeah.
Right.
So we pick up our phone and we go to Amazon to buy. But we don't know that world behind it.
That world exists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so part of why I keep saying, if you followed me from when I was on the sister station Star, we need our people to see beyond the politics and tourism, to see beyond the limits of our own education. So it is incumbent on people who have learned so much that I feel like it's my job here to get folks who have seen more, who have learned more.
Your voice.
Yeah, to come here and share that.
And share it.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of what you have here. You
Yeah.
have a listening, and it's very powerful, and it's just not in the Bahamas. I think it's even in the United States. The system of education needs to be revisited.
Most definitely.
And the e-commerce, the way the consumer operates, the opportunities that exist on your phone that is not just from a consumer base or entertainment is very real. Yeah. And I think, the Bahamians, we're very smart, unique, successful if given opportunities. We demonstrate that as people.
Yeah.
And if you give kids the opportunity, I think they'll succeed.
Oh, they have. It's just it's giving. It's like buying that new car, right? And you just protect it, you shine it, you ensure that it's taken care of. And no, because that's a bad example. Because there's depreciation with the new car.
I was going to say, well, you got the new car smell, but yeah.
There's depreciation with the new car. But I think it's more like planting a flower. Right, it goes through that process.
Right.
You plant the flower and you plant the seed and you do the things that it takes to nurture it,
right.
knowing that underneath the soil you have to trust the process, that what you're doing will bring forth a plat
that will survive in this era for where we're going.
And you have to be able to trust the process will do this and give you what your hope, the seed or the product that, like you said, will survive in this era and thrive.
And thrive.
In this
That's
era.
the good word. So we're thinking the same way.
Yeah. So today, when we're talking about real estate, one of the things that, again, going back to what the objective is.
Right.
I want my people in Elizabeth Estates, Nassau Village, Camp Road, Pinewood. I need my folks to be able to Stapleton to say, hey, listen, I can actually invest in real estate. I can actually get a piece of property and get my home. I'm looking for advice. I need advice. How do you get folks how does the person who has a single income, right? They have a single income, one child. You find a lot of buyers now are single mothers, one child.
Single mothers, yep.
Yeah. And they're looking for a home.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
First of all, it's not easy, right? Second of all, seek advice. Don't be afraid to seek advice for people that are qualified in that space. And those are the things that we can sort of sit down as qualified real estate brokers and give you direction, because we know the lawyers, we know the bankers, we know the accountants. We can kind of understand the picture that you paint. But a lot of it, lifestyle and discipline, anything about success requires some of that. And I think, we all can be, if we were in consumer debt, big expensive cars, lifestyle, shopping, keeping up with the Joneses. To get started in real estate, it requires savings, planning, and if you can't do it by yourself, partnering up with somebody, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the new teaching, the new lesson, partnering up with
right.
somebody.
So I have done deals where families, let's just say, in this situation, you had a couple and the parents' involvement was, okay, well, I'll lend you the part of the down payment. I'll lend it to you. But in essence, it's a gift because parents want to help their children.
Yep.
It's just a situation that existed. So if you can't make the down payment yourself, you go to your parents or friend or mentor and just help me. And people will do it. You'd be surprised how people would want to help if
you're shown.
Yeah, if you're shown that you're sincere, right?
How do we? There's a market that I learned about a long time ago, and that folks take advantage of in terms of investment. The foreclosure market.
Yeah.
The foreclosure market has it is a bittersweet market,
it
right?
It
is a bittersweet one because you know that someone just lost their home.
And how can it be your gain?
Exactly.
But it is the way the world operates. Every time somebody loses,
somebody
else can gain.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Right. It is sad. When we had the economic crash,
yeah.
right? I had a lot of clients that became very wealthy as a result of people losing.
Yeah.
Somebody was winning on the other side.
We had a lot of signs around that time where folks would say, I'll buy your home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whoa, that's fascinating.
Yeah, because they know they're getting it for 20 cents on the dollar. They believe in the cycle of recovery, and the economy has come back. I think the S&P is setting records. Money is affordable. The Fed reduces their rates again. So all of those things come into play. But the foreclosure market, there's opportunity.
Is there good value?
Yeah, and I was going to say the banks have sort of helped themselves in improving the system, because once you have vacant possession, it's a lot easier for a transaction to happen.
What's vacant possession?
So when the previous owner has vacated the property and the bank allows them to exit gracefully, they'll say, well, we won't necessarily make it difficult for your credit rating, or we want to work with you, but you do need to exit the home. So, and once the home is vacant, it's comfortable for a buyer to come in and take possession.
Oh, interesting.
So instead of being an adverse, if you're saying I'm not leaving, but I haven't made payment in 2 years, but I'm going to fight it and I'm going to destroy the house.
That happens.
It happens. People, and that's not a good. So that's a difficult one to engage.
What would you say to, because when looking at foreclosures as an investment opportunity, there's a lot of things you don't consider. I don't think a lot of us know what to consider with it. One of the things is that when you look at it, like you mentioned, vacant possession, like how would we know if the lot is vacant? How do we know if that
the house is vacant?
Yeah, the house is vacant.
Well, the agent. So again, we've helped the banks improve their systems.
So the real estate companies get this listing.
Exactly. The banks have now said, okay, we're going to allocate so many properties to different companies. Before they would just say go out and try to sell it, and the bank, they were saying we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
And we don't have time. We might bring a buyer, and then the previous owner makes the mortgage current, and we've done all this work for nothing. And so when you're able to give us the listing to represent that property, then we come into action. And we sell, I think my numbers, we sell maybe 4 or 5 vacant foreclosure properties a month.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you just call and say, I only want to see foreclosures?
No, the bank just feeds us because we move them for them. We have agents.
So if I were to come to Mario Carey right now, I say, listen, I just want to see your foreclosure list.
I want to see something that has a good opportunity, something at a certain price point.
Because I want to talk about that. How do you determine an opportunity? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome. You're listening to The Hit Back.
Good evening, Mr. Black, and good evening, Mr. Carey.
Good evening.
Mr. Carey, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. The one I'd like to ask you said you grew up on Wolf Road.
Oh, wait, hold on one second, Mr. We're having a little technical difficulty with Mr. Carey hearing you. You can hear it now?
I tried a question again. I think I heard that I grew up on Wolf Road. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you grow up in the vicinity of Centerville and Palm Beach Avenue in that area?
Ma'am, my property, my parents' property, was right off of Mackey Street. We're in the Carey subdivision. We're right across from Claridge Road.
Oh, yes. Okay, all right. That's probably a different Carey, but there are Careys right in that area that I talk about that I grew up in.
Yeah, well, all the Careys come from Eleuthera, right? You know that.
Right, yeah. And there's a young man there who paints, and he has his paintings on display out across the street, just across the street from, I forget the name of that street in that area.
Yeah, well, my dad was Douglas Carey, so we had the used car lot, the furniture store. Ray Minus was right across the road. He used to box with my dad. My dad was a boxing promoter. I grew up in a boxing ring, right? So.
Yes, my dad, my husband says he knows this.
Yeah, he knew me. He probably used to see me fight. My nickname was Kid Flash. Yeah. I could run around the ring without getting punched.
I tell you, that is so nice to hear. That was back in the day. You were really one of the great fighters then.
Yeah, no, we used to have fun. We had, my dad had Ray Minus, Boston Blackie, fighting. He brought Muhammad Ali down. I got to see Muhammad Ali as a kid. Bahama, what was his name from Bimini? Oh, yeah, there you go. They all fought for my dad, my Douglas Carey. He was the promoter. Yeah.
Yes, well, at least you got some history on you.
Yeah, that's, I appreciate that, but that was some good times,
Oh, yeah, they were good days now. Really good days.
Yeah, no, my mom, we had a used furniture store, and I used to deliver furniture all up to the corners up there, so from Wolf Road.
I long for those days again, but anyway. One question I'd like to ask is, if you, like say you're in your late 60s, early 70s, and you have some property, would you advise someone to sell that property, or would you advise them to leave that property for their children?
It's a good question. I would say, first of all, it depends on what you want, right? If you're 60, 70, and it's time for you to celebrate life, and if you sold the property, you can accomplish a few things. You can say, hey, why don't we take this and go on a nice vacation? Why don't we put some aside in case of medical emergencies? And then if we have cash and the kids want to buy some property, we can then help them purchase something. So one sale can accomplish a lot of objectives. It depends on what you want, really.
True, that's true. Another question. I watch Home and Gardens a lot. And I want to congratulate you on being in Better Homes and Gardens. That's the book?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I congratulate you on being in that book, and I am definitely going to secure a copy because I like anything that Bahamians are in,
Right.
I admire my people when we can excel.
But feel free to call the office and go and get your free copy of the magazine for any listeners. You know, the magazine, I think they sell for $8 on the stand. But 677-8255. 677-8255.
8255.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And go and get your free magazine. And, we love to hand them out, right?
All right. Thank you so much. Great caller. Someone text, and you feel free if you want to call and ask questions whilst we have Mr. Carey in here. Please, let's do so. Is it not too loud for you?
No, it's better.
Okay,
Thanks.
much
Yeah,
better. Okay,
yeah.
So there's a text. You can text us at 422-4796, 422-4796. You can also call at 323-6232, 325-4316, or 325-4259. All right, here's a question. The cost of borrowing real estate and construction here is really high. You almost can't buy a starter home because mortgages are so high. What do you suggest? How do you combat that?
Well, currently the banks are lending at around 3.99%.
Yep, that's really low.
That is low. I tell
I
you.
was at 7.5 when
Exactly.
we borrowed.
When I came here in 1990, interest rates were 18%.
Sweet Mahalia Jackson.
18%.
That's a credit card.
It is exactly, and that's what the banks were at. So, but I think at 3.99%, try to negotiate with the bank. Maybe have them try to extend the length of the mortgage for as long as they can. Sometimes instead of 15 years, do a 20, 25-year mortgage. If you have some credit challenges, have somebody maybe co-sign with you to sort of give a personal guarantee. The banks will allow that credit rating to be a bit higher. And again, meet with a mortgage broker and let them help you, sit down with you and help you figure it out, because that's their job. A mortgage broker doesn't cost you anything. They get paid by the bank, right?
Really?
So you can get a free consultation with somebody who's qualified. They know what the bank looks for. They know how to structure the loan. And
a mortgage broker.
A mortgage broker.
And would you look them up in the paper? Would you go to the bank and say, I need to talk to your mortgage broker, or to a real estate company like yourself and say?
A real estate company. Probably, I would say use the people in the industry that are most qualified and have the most resources. It doesn't cost you anything.
No.
Yeah.
That's amazing. First things first. It doesn't cost me anything.
It doesn't cost you anything.
Find this mortgage broker. Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Someone says, good day. Is now the best time to purchase a property in Grand Bahama? I live in Nassau, but I'm really interested in building, or at least purchasing a second home on one of our other islands. Great question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Grand Bahama, you might have family there, and this might be a place that you've always dreamt about moving back, as you're done working in the city of Nassau. So why not, right? And Grand Bahama values are very affordable. Do they appreciate in values? Maybe not as much as you would see as Nassau. But one thing that's interesting in Grand Bahama is Airbnb products or condos that people would want to rent near the beach. They've done well.
Yeah.
You can buy them for cheap, and you can get good vacation rentals for
That's
them.
what I was thinking.
Right.
Okay. So the vacation rental economy in Grand Bahama is much better than...
It's pretty stable. It's good.
Stable.
It's good. It's good enough to give you a good return if you got a good deal on a condo near the
If
water.
we're looking at, what do you call it, vacancy rates?
Right. Well, it's Airbnb. If you're near the beach...
You're good.
Yeah, for a good deal. But family islands, I made it a point to try to buy just a piece of land on any island that I could if a good deal showed up.
And that's a strategy for you?
That's a strategy. If it's $20,000, this is back in 1990 when I came back into the market. I would buy in Exuma, Long Island, Bimini, Freeport, and I'm just holding, right? I mean, it's a risk that you take. Freeport hasn't really done well. My pieces there, the pieces that I bought in Long Island did well. Some that I did in Exuma, I was able to sell and make a good profit.
They must have done well in Exuma.
Exuma did well. And anything near the water.
Anything near the water.
Yeah.
Going back to foreclosures, all right? And if you want to text 422-4796, foreclosures as the investment opportunity, right? What normally would be the margin I should be looking for in terms of profit in a foreclosure?
It's a tough one. If you buy a foreclosure to live in, that's something different, because that's a buy and hold, right?
Buy and hold.
Right.
Yeah, because you're
going to live in it.
Yeah.
Right. So and you can find a foreclosure, and you can find something that requires some work, and you can find friends that know how to paint, friends that are carpenters, and people go to your church and they can help you fix it up, and you order some Kentucky, and you know, and you'll create value that way. There's an interesting dynamic that's happening now due to the displacement of over, I think it's 70,000 people from the hurricanes, right? Go to the bank, look at what they have in multifamily, triplex, duplex, eightplex. I've seen some, and buy some of them, fix them up, and have them.
Now
for
you have
people.
housing.
Now you have housing. You have a demand.
Yes.
That's not being met.
That's the market right here.
That's the market.
Because of course, let me ask this: do you think that we're having a housing crisis? Because
a housing crisis. What is crisis? Crisis is a big word.
Crisis is a big word, but people are throwing it out as if there's this great shortage and people are living on the streets. I don't see it as people living on the streets yet. So it's not a crisis.
You mean as a result of the hurricane?
Yeah.
I think we
have a shortage.
We have a shortage, and it is very real. People are living with families. People are displaced in the states. People are living in apartments. So how do you get them into a place where they can resettle, get a normalcy of life, kids going back to school, and you need affordable housing. So, I've been trying to advocate and trying to figure out a system where investors can buy distressed properties in bulk, have people that want to help donate funds to allow people to get into some sort of a housing environment. And that's what I'm working on a fund with.
Yeah. You're working on a fund?
Fund for that, yeah. So it's not easy, and it is very expensive.
Yeah.
And
that's very expensive.
I mean, dealing with the cost of operating the fund, the lawyers, the fees, and then the government. And I've met with certain people to say, hey, what kind of a break can you give the investment, whoever is involved with it, with the VAT?
Right.
Just to make this happen so that people can have a place to live.
The anticipation of this, because affordable housing is tough. And what I'm finding is that a lot of folks, first and last in security, in Nassau is not a little bit of money.
Okay, so let me inject. So through this exercise, I found out when I went to meet with NEMA and social services that a Bahamian who is looking to transition into a rental property, they get an annual $1,200 stipend. Every Bahamian, if you have a job. If you have a job, they'll give you $1,200 to help you move into an apartment.
Every Bahamian?
It's open to everybody.
Not just Abaco and Grand Bahama?
Everybody.
Preston, every Bahamian.
I was surprised.
$1,200
to help you pay that first and last rent.
Well, this is
help
powerful.
You move. Yeah, that's information that I just learned about 2 months ago.
They probably just learned too.
I said, are you all sure about this?
Every Bahamian.
$1,200. If you have a job, but it's for people that are trying to move, that need to move into an apartment, right?
And this is through
And
NEMA?
if you have a job and you're trying to relocate, you have to move. So.
NIB, NEMA, who's this through?
This was actually through social services.
This is powerful.
Yeah.
This is powerful. This is powerful.
Yeah.
I moved.
Yeah.
Oh, $1,200, man. That's great.
Yeah, you think about it. It helps you get into an apartment.
Yeah, because the first, last, and security is much for a lot of folks.
Right.
Any people from Abaco approached you about selling their property?
We've had some discussions, and I must say it's been more the bigger properties, resort guys that were running somewhat.
Scared?
Yeah, well, they were running sort of big resorts. Mm-hmm. They got totally wiped out.
Baker's Bay?
Kind of near Baker's Bay, but more, just through Abaco, and I got to be careful, confidential.
I know.
So it's.
I meant to throw it out. I wanted to see how far we
Baker's
could
Bay
go.
took a heavy hit, and there's a lot of things that go in there. It's a tough one. We haven't really seen a lot of property being sold in Abaco as a result of the hurricane.
Have there been a lot of calls?
Calls, yeah.
Speculation.
Sort of, we call them bottom feeders type thing, and but we don't want those kind of conversations. I want to, people take your time, get your hurricane adjuster in there, let them decide where you stand. Get your emotions sort of settled before you make bad decisions.
Rash decisions.
Yeah, so.
The bottom feeders, as you would call them, what do they normally propose?
First of all, they want to go after anything that's on the water, anything that's on the beach, because they believe in the cycle of recovery. Mm-hmm. They believe that.
Like we all should.
We all should. It's very real. I mean, you go on the coast of the United States, you go into the Carolinas, and they get slammed
all the time,
and then they rebuild
all the time.
Right. So I mean, it's just, and there are people for that appetite. There's no advice that I would say anybody that's holding on the property to sell at this moment, unless you have to. Yeah, unless you have to. Right.
Why would you say hold it?
Because I think there's value there. If you have a beachfront piece of property in Hopetown,
that's
valuable.
That's very valuable.
Yeah, why sell it unless you have to? Medical bills. I have a cousin that was airlifted. He got sucked out of the house. They found him in a car, and they airlifted him to the States. And his medical bill is pretty attractive.
Well, no, or unattractive.
It's
crazy.
It's huge. So how is he going to pay that? And that's only one story. I mean, how many more people are like that? So at some point, and the real estate is not liquid.
No.
It takes time to sell.
Would you advise then to leverage it for a loan, which might not be wise, but probably your option? That might be faster.
It could be. Yeah, a loan could say, okay, well, I can maintain the property, I can hold on to it. If I can work and cover the debt service, and then it's a plan. It's one idea that allows you to keep the property, maybe wait for the market to recover, because the market will determine the price eventually for properties post-hurricane. When people start making deals, when things start to sell, that's how the prices will be determined. It's difficult for us to say, well, this is worth this now, because we don't know what the appetite for persons are. There's no real activity, right? So price is determined by willing buyer and seller,
right?
In an arm's length transaction. And we haven't really seen a lot of transactions happening right now in the hurricane.
No. And it's still early. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. We have one of the greatest entrepreneurs, and, business owners, and savvy fellows, and Olympic swimmer who never went to the Olympics, but he can swim for like 5 days straight.
I could throw it down, Nahaja, believe me. I love the water. Yeah.
I know, right? And of course, our prolific real estate tycoon and businessman, Mr. Mario Carey, in studio with us. We're taking the opportunity to discuss investment as an opportunity. The Airbnb market is an interesting one.
I like that market.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm in the market. I really like the market.
It's a very good market.
What I found, valuation. I think a lot of people with for example, Airbnb, VRBO, all of these tools or portals with which you can put your apartment on rent. I had a wonderful story of a fellow who lives Faith Avenue.
Faith Avenue. Good for him.
He got a duplex, right? And he lives Faith Avenue. One unit is on Airbnb. And,
beautiful.
And he is renting that bugger out like all the time. Turning it over.
Yeah.
And actually his story taught my husband and I a story. He gets more value per square foot than we do. And
because he's doing short term.
Yeah.
Versus long term.
Yeah.
Month to month, right.
Exactly. And so his and on top of that too, I think if his unit is 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, mine is 2 bedrooms, 2.5 bath,
right.
I still can only sleep 6 and he probably can sleep 4, right? Because I can pull a cot or whatnot, right?
Right.
But I find that I have tons of space, right? So if my unit is twice as large as his, I'm not getting it. If I'm selling at the same rate or just a bit better because of the location, I'm not really competitive with him. I could have gone smaller, and
or go Airbnb.
But I am. This is Airbnb.
Your unit is Airbnb.
Yeah.
Or, okay,
Airbnb.
I thought you were, because a lot of people, if you rent for a year, your monthly rent is sort of at a certain rate.
Yeah, it was fixed.
But
we
if
were
you
long
do
term.
Airbnb,
we were.
You're gonna make some
Airbnb
money.
is good.
Right.
No, Airbnb is good.
Right.
But I found that it was a square footage thing. I thought we think to ourselves, he's making almost the same as we are.
Right, and your square foot value per square foot isn't the same.
Isn't the same.
That's so you got to be smart about that.
Yeah.
A lot of times, we have a term that we call super adequacy of size. It's a very big word the world of appraisal and valuations. Super adequacy of size. Mm-hmm. And basically, and maybe it's not in your case, but we get into appraising properties where somebody is overdeveloped for the location.
Yeah.
We ran into one the other day in Pinewood Gardens where the guy had like a 2,800 square foot house in Pinewood Gardens.
That's not going to get what it...
Right. So you know you will not get your value
Yep.
back, right? And
that should have been his forever home.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm not sure how he would have gotten a permit to do it, but, you know, it's a lot of money that's wasted unnecessarily.
Yeah, no, the return on that is not going to happen.
Right. So the house is typically about 1,000 to 1,200 square feet.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to be overbuilt in an area and then you become the most expensive house in the area.
So
you never want to be on the high end or the low end, somewhere that's
in the middle,
right?
Somewhere in the
Just
middle.
some sort of advice in there, but the Airbnb market, I'm a strong advocate.
As a real estate agent, as a real estate developer, you're a strong advocate for Airbnb. Doesn't that affect your income?
No, I want the Bahamians to be able to take advantage of an opportunity because it is a tourist-based opportunity.
Yeah.
And we should be empowered by policy, by lending policy. I've spoke to the banks that if this gentleman on Faith Avenue has been renting his unit for 3 years on Airbnb, he has a track record, he has an accountant that could audit his books, he should be able to borrow money against that income.
Really? Because
that's what I want. That only makes sense, business sense. Why would you not value the income if it's an income producing property and he has
because he's definitely making more than $900 a month.
Exactly.
By far.
Right.
So then that income, wonderful thought there, because of course now it's changed the quality of that revenue generating property.
The quality
and the
value, the history.
Yeah.
And the audited books.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Now that you say that, because of course, if you would normally get rent for $900 a month or $1,000 a month,
right?
Now you're getting income at $1,800 a month.
But by renting a daily.
By renting a daily.
And your wear and tear might be similar, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending. Right.
Depending, and that valuation should be seen.
And the banks, they shake their head a little bit, they scratch their head, and I think what happens is, if we get to that point, then people will be able to now be entrepreneurial, borrow money, and buy another property. Leverage and buy another property.
That's the goal.
That's how we do
That's
it.
how you build
That's
on
how
this
you do it.
wealth. Okay. You're listening to The Hit Back with Nahaja Black, real estate tycoon, developer, Mario Carey of Mario Carey Real Estate in studio with us. We are learning from a master. Let's learn all the way from Wolf Road.
Wolf Road.
We'll be back right after this.
Hurricane Dorian has inflicted great damage to many communities, but we are certain that it will not break the spirit or resolve of our Bahamian people. Our hearts go out to all who have been adversely impacted. Commonwealth Bank is committed to helping our brothers and sisters throughout the Bahamas. Please join us by donating today. Cash donations can be made at any Commonwealth Bank branch, online, or by depositing to the CB Bahamas Red Cross Relief Fund. Together, we will rebuild a better Bahamas. Commonwealth Bank, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
When life gets crazy busy, who has time to cook? KFC buckets are the perfect solution for families on the go. Cooked fresh daily, in-store, KFC chicken is crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Bring home a family bucket of original, spicy, or barbecue chicken with fries and buttery biscuits, all for only $20, including VAT. Let KFC cook tonight. Buckets of love at KFC Nassau. It's finger-licking good.
We all dream of someday owning our own home. Let Fidelity take you one step closer to home ownership with $5,000 toward your lot loan closing costs. With the price of land on the rise, now is the perfect time to purchase your lot. Fidelity Bank is here to get you started with fast and local approval, built-in saving plan with 5% interest, credit card with guaranteed lowest rate, quick turnaround, no runaround. Get started today by calling 356-7764.
Hi, I'm Bishop Arnold Josie, and I'm inviting the entire Bahamas to join Bahamas Against Crime and Sanctuary as we stand up to protect our children and preserve our future. In addition to attending the church service on Sunday, November 3rd, and the workshop on Thursday, November 7th, you can be a part by purchasing a t-shirt and wearing it on Friday, November 8th. I'm inviting all churches, all offices, youth groups, and anyone in the general public to wear your shirt and stand in solidarity to rid our country of abuse. For more information, call 325-4357 or 328-8984 or email bahamasagainstcrime@gmail.com.
We all dream of someday owning our own home. Let Fidelity take you one step closer to home ownership with $5,000 toward your lot loan closing costs. With the price of land on the rise, now is the perfect time to purchase your lot. Fidelity Bank is here to get you started with fast and local approval, built-in saving plan with 5% interest, credit card with guaranteed lowest rate, quick turnaround, no runaround. Get started today by calling 356-7764.
There's never been a better time to get a brand new Chevrolet because we've got a wide range of models for you, from the economical Spark to the sporty Equinox or the ever-popular Tahoe or Trax SUVs. Need a truck? Then the Colorado or Silverado pickups are guaranteed to give you years of service. Find new roads with Chevrolet at Nassau Motor Company on Shirley Street. Call them at 302-0130, where standards are higher.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And we're back. You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. I almost said Nahaja Carey. What was going on?
Whoa.
Calm
Husband,
down.
we're on
Calm
with
down.
the table, the microphones, everything separating us. Now, hold on.
It's a safe space.
Husband, be safe. We're safe.
He might call after the break. Like, what was that?
What was that?
Tell him, listen, at least we get a free house.
Wow. Okay. Where are we now? Let's go.
So we have the one and only Mario Carey in studio with us. Real estate. You know the name because you've seen it, the signs. He's in Better Homes and Garden. Now you can go to Mario Carey Real Estate. You can go to your head office.
Yeah, we're located above Marco's Pizza. That's a Cable Beach. That's where our office is located, and can get a free magazine. Yeah. Come and say hello. We have lovely staff. Chalicia is in the front. Beautiful young lady. Welcome you. Give you a pen. Give you a magazine. Come and see our office. We have a sort of
it's a great office, by the way.
The office is like an apple, and it's designed by concept because we have a belief in being open. We don't really keep anything, and we're creative thinkers, and we work together, and there's no aggression among salespeople.
Good.
We're not backstabbing. We work as a team. So come and meet the team.
I like that. 677. You can call them at 677-8255.
Yeah.
Questions here. How high up should we now build our houses nowadays? And I don't know if that texture means how high up from a foundation or floodplains. So I'm thinking maybe floodplains.
Yeah. There's a lesson to be learned. And I would only say go as high as possible and make it as affordable as you can. If you do go up, if it's, wood frame houses in Abaco, I'm told, I haven't been there, but the old construction wood frame houses are the ones that are standing.
Yeah.
We're all into this concrete concept, but they built with the crawl space underneath, and they were built out of solid wood and out of master carpentry. Why can't we build like that in Nassau? People are afraid of wood. I don't know. But foundations, be sensitive to it. There's nothing wrong with raising the foundation as high as you comfortably can. But, just make sure that you don't get the cost. But in the long run, it can give you a lot of security if you are high up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had an architect tell me the other day, Monte Pratt, he was on my show on the other station. And one of the things that he mentioned with building, he said, because I've always said I want like this plantation style home. I want a wrap-around porch, and I just need to know that.
Dream.
On this nice, big sprawling lot. And I said, my only concern is I don't want the wind to whip up underneath my porch and lift up my roof. But he taught me something,
right?
That really that the fact that roofs were flying off complete whole shows not the style of the home, but the improper construction of the home. And that, a lot of the homes that were destroyed the way that they were, he, based on his expertise and also of architect Mike Foster, was that they were not properly constructed.
Right.
And construction, if we actually were to use the services of people who are not interested in cutting costs so that they could get the next check.
Right.
Sorry, contractors, I'm not meaning all of you, but a good few.
But it happens, believe me. We've all experienced that.
Yeah, well, I could tell you, amen, amen.
Amen,
Touch
amen.
and agree.
Yeah, that's for sure. But there's so much stuff out nowadays that's beyond just a concrete block. The type of construction, the type of materials.
Are you selling homes that are the prefab homes?
Prefab homes that are engineered in a factory that can withstand the hurricanes.
Really? How many winds? What mile per hour winds have you seen?
200 mile an hour wind.
Prefab homes?
Prefab homes, yeah.
Really?
But the word prefab is not a mobile home.
No.
It is an engineered in a factory. Every inch is cut to perfection, and
put
the whole
together.
Hurricane clips are put together. The windows fit properly.
Yeah,
you just put it together. Chopping out spaces, and then and it's there.
And it's done quickly. I know the prefab homes.
Yes, yeah.
Did you find a difference in value of those?
The market still prefers the concrete.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you said this is a prefab home built out of wood or built out of styrofoam or built out of royal wood, royal walls, tilt-up walls, people still are a bit weary
because of
about
the
it.
education part of it.
Yeah.
You hear styrofoam, I'm not thinking durable.
Styrofoam
I'm thinking I'll drink out of it.
Oh, no. When they do these styrofoam and they pour with the concrete, that is so you can't put a nail through it. It's amazing.
Really?
The technology.
And of course, with the styrofoam in the wall, of course, it's insulated.
Insulated.
So energy costs are
lower. I think the design originated out of Italy. It's quite impressive. There are a few houses in the Ocean Club that are built out of it. Solid.
Really?
Solid.
Fascinating. Yeah. All right. Someone says, how does Airbnb proceeds, and I think we were discussing this during the break.
Okay.
How does Airbnb proceeds factor into the income, approach value, and overall value on appraisals?
Good question. Unfortunately, there's no motivation to maybe include it in the appraisals because the banks aren't recognizing it.
Not yet?
Not yet. And this is the argument that I have.
Yeah. It's still income.
It is income.
It is now a new form of rental income instead of the and I'm curious as to why would the bank not receive it, because it's income. It's an income generating
Why is marijuana not legal still? I mean, I only want to plug that in. It's the mindset. Business as usual has to change. Airbnb, there's a book called The Four, written by Scott Galloway. I'm just going to go off a little bit. But it tells you about the power of how the world economy and wealth is changing. So you got the four, right? And that's it's Apple, Amazon. I got to remember.
Uber?
Not Uber. Uber doesn't make it. But
what?
So it's Apple, Amazon, Facebook, and what is the fourth one? But anyway, so Airbnb, out of Uber and all the Walmarts, they're deemed to be the fifth giant that is going to industrially change the world in hospitality and making money.
Yeah.
We are a tourist-based country. Tourism is our number one industry. How are we not empowered to be able to take advantage of this growth that is global?
I'm telling you.
And rightfully so. The Airbnb is the biggest competition to your Atlantis and to your
and they want
Bahama.
us to be taxed,
and,
which makes
right.
sense.
and they want heads in their beds, but not everybody's appealing to that. People want to go to Faith Avenue, be with the people,
mix and mingle. Well, I had someone who deals with these companies say the folks they don't know where Faith Avenue is. They just see quaint.
Walking distance to the food store.
Walking distance to the food.
Bus number 10. I don't know what number is called.
I don't know what it is, right? But I did see two very Caucasian-looking people.
Oh, you can tell.
Touristy.
You can tell.
That felt very lost at the Faith Avenue
light.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's good and we need to protect them.
Yeah.
I think we're fortunate that nothing's
we need
bad
to
happened
protect
to them. We need to protect them. Yeah.
I've seen folks in Camp Road and all.
I know Fox Hill.
Yeah, man.
Carmichael Road.
What this Airbnb said? What did they say?
I know.
Historic.
But again, my way to handle the Airbnb product is you combine it with a people-to-people. The government used to do a people-to-people.
Yes.
And this is the perfect marriage. You
That's
Airbnb. Right. You people-to-people. We have you over for Sunday dinner. We get, what a cultural experience that people can really see. Because it's all, when you come to the Bahamas, it's more than just going to the beach. It's the people. And it's a superficial if you come off the cruise ship.
Yeah,
and
it's
if you're
not
in a
real.
hotel and you don't go off a property, you see the waiters and stuff. They're nice. But when you
don't
get
experience
off,
it.
that's it.
And they're longing, and folks love that experience. If you're advising a young couple now, they don't have any kids yet, but they're just together, both beginning their careers or whatnot, or maybe they've met themselves in almost 30. Met each other in almost 30. What type of property would you tell them to buy?
To look at? First of all, what you can afford, right? Number one. Yeah.
Real quick.
How are we doing with time?
We only got like a minute.
No way.
I'm telling you.
But something that's going to give you an exit strategy in 5 to 7 years that you can sell and make some money. Something that maybe you can rent and buy another property. So, or try the triplex, like what you've done. That's a very smart move that you did. Yeah. And buy in a good location.
Yeah.
And talk to a good real estate broker like myself.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Right. You'll be on my side.
Mario Carey.
I'm gonna get the last plug in. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Listen, it was a pleasure. I hope we can, have more of these discussions, because there's a lot more that we haven't even come close to.
Sure.
In terms of, a quick one. I know we have to. Nope, we gotta go.
All right, but I enjoyed it. Anytime.
I appreciate
anytime.
it.
Okay.
You're listening to the Hit Back with Nahaja Black. My producer and my boss are giving me the cut sign. We're gone. Have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow.
Amid said Youth and Sports Minister Lynn 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 said Youth and Sports Minister